Hi everyone, hope you're well. Today in this video with Flight Sim Adventures, we're going to do two things. First is a little bit of eye candy using PrecipitFX new ChasePlane, which is completely awesome. As you can see here, I'm trying to talk while doing smooth camera moves, and so it's not all that obvious, so excuse me if sometimes I speak funny things or if I make funny moves. But the second thing we're going to do is, so how do you handle that plane? This 737-800 NGX is a super slippery plane thanks to its wingtips, and you'll see a lot of complaints, people complaining about, hey man, I'm always coming in too fast or too high and I just have to go around or crash the airplane on the runway. And there are ways to deal with that, and that's what I'm going to show you today. Now, in order to show that to you, I've put the airplane here in an extreme situation. You know, don't tell me it's not realistic. I know it's not realistic, but I've just put it this way to show you that if you're a normal bit off your vertical path, there's a way to gain back control here and to put it back under control. So now I'm going to go back in the plane, unpause the sim, and I'm going to put some more eye candy at the end of the landing, when hopefully we'll have done a good landing, and we will have more time to do eye candy stuff. But as you'll see, this approach here is fast and furious, and there's like no way that I can take some time to do neat camera stuff, but hopefully it's going to be so fast that you won't even have to think about camera stuff. Okay, so let's go inside. So let me show you the situation we are in right now. So we're flying the Faisal approach, Faisal 6 approach. Okay, and so it's off the east coast of Florida, and we're coming over the water here from the north, and we should be going down this way and then turn. The airport is here, then turn parallel to the runways, and it says here expect radar vectors to final prior to Agoya. So what happens is we're going to go down there, boom 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 boom, and at one point we're going to be vectored to turn around and land onto the runway. Now, as you can see, normally here they say, expect 240 at father, and expect to be around here at a Mosey at 250 knots. But as you can see, 8,000 at 250 knots. And as you can see here, this pilot was totally sleeping because we're at 29,000 feet and we're not too far from Faisal. We're 16 nautical miles out of Faisal. So we're 16 nautical miles out of here, and we're like really, really high. So we're going to deal with that. As you can see, it's very extreme, but it can be done. Okay, so how do you deal with that? The way you deal with that is that, and I'm going to unpause in a second there, but it just goes so fast that I want to talk it a little bit over before I unpause. So what we're going to do is use the level change mode. Never use vertical speed. Vertical speed will kill you, because with vertical speed it's dangerous. All the autopilot thinks about is the vertical speed, but it doesn't take care here if it's going into overspeed or if it's approaching stall. Whereas level change actually is a speed mode. You dial in the speed and it pitches the aircraft and uses the throttle to keep that speed. So how do you get out of a tight spot like this? It's a bit counterintuitive, but you want to go as fast as you can going down. And the reason for that is that the faster you go, well, the drag goes up at the square, at the power of 2 of your speed. So if you go twice as fast, you have 4 times as much drag on the aircraft, and that means you can point the nose down more. So basically what we're going to do then is to use level change to go as close as we can to the red line going down. Now again, folks, don't try this at home, and if you're a pilot and you end up in a situation like that, you will most likely be fired, as well as the ATC guy who got you into that position. So here we go. What's the first thing we do? No, it's not the speed brake. We tell everyone to fasten their seat belts. Folks, this is your captain speaking. Please sit down and fasten your seat belts. This is going to go really fast. Now, whoops, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. Now we go into level change. and as you can see, the speed here is the current speed, and we're going to start diving really fast. And the second thing we're going to do is add some drag right away. You can see the autopilot is pulling the throttle back. I'm not doing this, and it's going to start pitching the aircraft down like crazy, and it's going to keep the speed as close as it can to the current speed while doing so. And you can see this results in insane rate of descent. Right now we're going at around 5,500 feet per minute. Okay, so we've started our descent. Should I say crazy descent? And I'm going to put that here at 10,000 feet. The reason is at 10,000 feet we have to be at or below 250 knots, and now we're going as fast as we can, and we want to keep going as fast as we can for as long as we can, right? So that's why I'm doing this. And at 10,000 feet we're going to do a level off to slow down the airplane to 250 knots. And well, the reason being it's illegal to go any faster than that, and that with these planes you can slow down or you can go down, but you can't do both at once. Here I see I have a little bit of extra wiggling room to get a few extra knots in, so let's do that. So we're gonna go down even faster. You can see now we've settled down on 4,200 feet per minute descent with the speed brake extended. Now, you know, let's do the approach here. The frequency is 110.10. Let me double check that on the chart I have next to me here. Yes, that's correct. So that's the ILS frequency. Set on both sides, so we're able to do a you know, a full landing flare with the autopilot. And the only reason I want to do that with the autopilot is that I'm going to show you that landing from the outside. Okay. Next, set the barometric pressure. That's 3007 is what I checked at Fort Lauderdale prior to starting the video. And since we're already at 18,000, let's set that in. Now that's something else that can get you into trouble. When the QNH is higher than 290902 and you cross 18,000 and you switch, you're actually higher than you thought you were. So that's even more extra energy that you have to bleed off for the landing. So that's another thing you shouldn't take lightly. Okay, let me pull my descent checklist here. Pressurization. Okay, recall checked, auto brake is set. Recall checked. Approach briefing, oh well, that's all we've been talking about. And setting VREF. So right now we have 12.4, we expect to have 12.1, so that's 500 pounds less fuel than we have here. So that's 124.2. And we're going to do a normal flaps 30 landing speed, which is what we've set here already. So that's all good. Our approach reference is set. Descent checklist completed. Okay. Okay, as we're approaching 10,000 here, I'm going to start slowing down the speed, because otherwise we're going to bust that limit. The autopilot won't catch it. It's not used to going down so fast. And I said I'd put it at 250, but I won't. I'll put it at 240. The reason being that I want to be able to extend the gear to get as much drag as I can. So as soon as we go below 250 indicated airspeed, I'll resume the descent to 2,500, which is my intercept altitude for the glide slope, and I'll also put the speed back up to 250 again to get the maximum drag possible. Okay, let's set the heading bug. I'll also change as soon as we're on that track from LNAV to heading mode, and I'll show you why, because I'll show you a neat trick to see when you can actually start doing that turn, knowing that you won't be too fast. Okay, so here's the trick. What you do is you go in the legs page. You see that waypoint here is where we want to be at 2,500, right? So we go in the legs page and we say, now we want to go to Pyon. Of course, before we execute this, we change into heading select mode. Oh, sorry, time to lower the gear and actually resume the descent to 2,500. This is really my priority, and again can push that speed to the absolute limit. Okay, so back to this trick. So I'm going to switch to Pyon. I'm in heading mode here. I can safely do it, and in the descent page here, of course, there's this little thing called the angle calculator. So this is your current angle going down at 7.8 degrees, nose pointing down. We're going down at 3,800 feet per minute. And to go to Pyon at 2,500 or above, we need an angle of 7. And you're going to see that as we cross Pyon, it's going to be pretty quick. That angle is going to start to lower. And as soon as I sense I can time it to be at around, not at around, but at 3 degrees when I hit Pyon, or when I'm over the straight line here to Pyon, then I'm going to do that. Sorry, I'm busy. I need to set this to the approach course, which is 9.7. Same here. And I turn VOR to on. Are we tuned into that thing? Yes, we are. Okay, see, we're still we're starting to, so we're going to see that angle here, vertical bearing. So that's the angle. Remember, that's like the angle to the current waypoint, or to the next constraint, I should say. You see here, 6 point. It's going down very fast, so I can start the heading at the turn pretty quickly here. Do that now. Oops, wrong way. I always turn the mouse the wrong way for some reason. I might have done it a bit too early. Oh no, it should be okay. Remember, I'm really pushing this to the limit now. I'm starting to slow down. We're almost at altitude, so now the plane's gonna start slowing down fast. So you see, we're already in pretty good shape, I would say. Besides the fact that the cleaning lady is gonna have a lot of work to do in the back. Okay, a few things I didn't have time to do. I'm just watching this like crazy here. Actually, I can arm, and I'm below the glide path. I see the airport. Okay, now we're getting the VOR is alive, so I'll turn it on to arm it to intercept it. And now we can start, you know, getting those flaps out. And reducing the speed some more. We've captured the glide slope. So you see, basically at this point, everything is under control, I would say. We don't need this anymore. Let's arm it for landing. And I'm just watching the glide slope here. Okay, we're okay here. I'm just waiting for the glide slope to come alive. So engine start switches continuous, speed brake arm, landing gear down, well not quite yet. Actually no it is. And flaps are green light, so that's landing checklist completed. So as I said, there we go, we're already slowed down and we're like what, 12 miles out of the airport, so not too bad. You know, we were in a really bad spot, but we managed to get out of it legally and in a technically correct manner. Although you should never get out in a tight spot like that. So, but that being said, of course, the idea here is just to prove that you can grab this slippery airplane by the neck and make it do what you want to do, and everything should be fine, and you should be able to get it under control, even if you're a little bit too high or a little bit too fast. You know, you can actually do that. Okay, we've got the localizer, so I'll arm this right away, so I don't forget it, but most of all it's because I just want to go outside and show you the nice view here. So let's get some more flaps in here. We'll slow down to the reference speed +5, and to do that you put the bug just above the ref here. Okay, now I want to arm the second autopilot. You have to do that before your 800 feet radar altitude, otherwise it won't change into the auto-land with flare mode. This airplane is not equipped with full auto-land. Okay, let me redo that checklist. Altimeters are set, engine start switches are continuous, and speed brake is armed, the landing gear is down, and the flaps are green light. So let's go outside. I'll turn on the cinematic mode here just to show you how it works automatically. And this is the camera moves are fully automatic here. I'm not doing anything. So you see, mission accomplished. We're on the glide slope, on speed, which was from a crazy high altitude where we should never have been able to manage that before. We should have gotten there, is what I was meaning to say. We should never have gotten in a tight spot like this. This is pretty neat. I made the default switch between camera angles shorter. It's at 30 seconds. I put it at 15. Now let me just do another quick check because we're getting crazy close here. On the glide slope, the speed is okay. I'm in double autopilot mode. And yep, there we go. So let me go back outside. This time in manual mode. And I'll actually put this where I want it to go, which is I'm controlling this manually. As you can see, you can do smooth camera transitions. Oops, sorry. I'm not. That's a pretty cool angle. Although it's going to be very hard to track the center line. So I'm going to do what, of course, no pilot would do, is just fully land from the outside, just because it's so nice to watch. You can see the little turbulence here that's dialed in by ChasePlane. Sorry for the centerline tracking. Let's get the flaps up. Speed brakes in. I'm going to go all the way to the gate and show you the full animated eye candy here, just because I love it, and it's so much more fun with ChasePlane. So first exit the runway, then I'm gonna put the plane in the correct state. Of course, normally with the autopilot, with the co-pilot, they don't just like kind of stop right here in the middle, but I like to give myself a little break here, especially that I'm talking at the same time. So there we go. Let's take care of business. Turn on those taxi lights, turn on the APU, remove the engines from continuous, remove the strobes. That's about it. Yeah, I can already turn off the probes. And then turn off the... I should turn on the lights. It's starting to... get a bit dark here. Of course, normally in the real world, you wouldn't have any problems with that. Okay, so I'm putting this on just transponder mode here because I'm on the ground. I hate this dithering. I don't know how to, if somebody knows how to get rid of this dithering, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm in 32-bit modes, and when I turn on the lights, look at that, it's so ugly. I hate it. Okay, where was I? Turn this off and turn terrain mode off, and here I had the weather, I guess. No, this was terrain. Okay, because we don't want to fry anyone here on the ground. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, I have to activate ground services here. Oh my god, I missed my gate. Okay, hang on, where are we? C2, C6. Okay, let's just switch this to C2. I think I can handle this. Yeah. I don't think a U-turn would have been a good idea. There we go. Okay. Oh, you see that weird camera move? That's actually the ChasePlane anticipating the turn. Oh my god. Doing too many things at the same time. Slow down, baby. not too bad. Parking brake on. Get the APU power. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn off the autopilot and I just switched to APU power, and that's a no-no. So do I have the APU power is okay? Yep. So let's, I know people are always in a big hurry to get out. Here we go. So let me then we have power, switch to more power. Just double checking. Yeah, probably I would do this before I can turn off the APU and nothing bad's gonna happen. I can turn the anti-collision lights off, turn off the hydraulics, probes are okay. Let's get that checklist out to be sure. Fuel pumps are off, how could I forget that? Probe bead is off, hydraulic panel is set, flaps are up, parking brake is set, engine start levers cut off, weather radar off. Let's go outside and have some fun looking at all the cool eye candy here. Let's operate the jetway. Now, I'm controlling this, you know, like a cameraman. Obviously my tilt, my pan here is a bit too fidgety. It's difficult to do a really slow turn of the camera. And now let's request deboarding. I just love doing this. Somehow a flight doesn't seem complete if, you know, I don't see all the action around the airplane. And ChasePlane has made it 100 times more enjoyable than ever. It's like we're operating a drone on the airfield. That would be a big no-no. Oh, I clipped. I hate clipping. Oh, the jetway disappeared. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you learned something from it. It's always possible to get out of even the tightest spots and you know, get that airplane to do what you need it to do. And so if we you know, go over this again, you need to point your nose down as much as you can. That kind of makes sense, but maybe not in the sense you're thinking, I don't want to go too fast, but the faster you go, the more overall drag you get. So you put these brakes out and you use flight change mode. You don't use vertical speed mode. You should never use vertical speed mode except for very short periods of time. Hang on, let me take care of this. And so you use flight change mode, you peg that airspeed to the max it can be, and then don't forget to slow down at 10,000 feet, and then you use the angle, the bearing calculator, which is in the descent page I showed you, that vertical current angle and the required angle to the next constraint. The goal here is to get around 3 degrees. All standard descents are at around 3 degrees. And so you use that to know when you are able to turn. You could also have set this to the runway threshold, by the way. If you set your constraint to be the runway threshold, you could actually do that. Would that make sense? Maybe not. No, well, yeah, it's continuous. The triangle is continuous to the how do you call that? The anyway, to that point where you start the descent to the, yeah. So you could use a runway threshold to monitor that 3 degree angle, and then that's it. So hope you had fun. Hope you had a good look at what you can do with ChasePlane 2. And there you go. See you next time, guys. Oh, and by the way, now you know why I call this Flight Sim Adventures, right? In my flights, something always goes wrong. You know, in the first video I did, it was like hard IFR. So you might want to go look at this video. It's not with the this airplane, it's with the Duke airplane and the turbine Duke V2 and the GTN 750. It's a nice little flight. And again, I put conditions at the limit. So that's why I call the channel Flight Sim Adventures. There are plenty of guys out there doing just, you know, normal stuff. I just want to put always the situation a little bit to the edge here when I do my videos. Okay, see you next time. Bye.